Every year, thousands of developers create tiny creative games in just 48 hours. This year, I played over hundreds of them. Some made me smile for a moment. Others stayed with me long after I closed the tab. Today, I want to share 10 games you've probably never played, and the clever ideas behind them so you can try them yourself, or maybe even borrow a little inspiration. After this year's GMTK Game Jam, over 150 games were submitted to my stream, and I played 60 of them live with chat and rated almost 140 in total. Now, I didn't rush through playing any of them. I played until I felt I'd seen what the game had to offer, or until it ran out of surprises to get a sense of what the game intended to offer and compare that to what it actually delivered. Out of those games, these 10 stood out in very different ways, and I'll save my personal favorite for last, so stick around. This game greets you with a clean, monochrome visual style, like Return of the Obra Dinn, and it fits the tone perfectly. The gameplay is short, deliberate, and tied closely to its message. I didn't leave wanting more levels, per se. I left with the same feeling you get after finishing a good short story. Complete, thought-provoking, and worth recommending to anyone who sees games as more than quick entertainment. At first glance, it's speedrunning platformer, but on the second loop, you realize you'll be playing the same stage again and again, gaining upgrades that make you faster and more chaotic. The level is simple, but mastering it is addictive. It's proof that one well-designed space can outshine a dozen half-finished ones. And if you like the repetition here, wait until you see the last game on the list. It uses loops in a completely different way. A real-time strategy game is a big risk in a game jam. I should know because I tried it and failed. This one works because it feels closer to a board game, clear, measured, and manageable without losing the strategic depth. The theme interpretation, looping back to restore nature, is subtle but elegant. It shows that with careful scope control, even traditionally complex genres can shine in 48 hours. Now, this one was one of the first games I played after the jam, and it completely caught me off guard. It's short, it's strange, and it knows exactly what it's doing. I won't spoil the details, but this is a great example of how creating a strong reaction, even frustration, can make a jam game memorable. Now, this one is another take on the same stage, new twist idea. The pacing builds tension and curiosity, revealing just enough change each time to keep you moving forward. It reminds me of old Flash games from the early 2000s, quick to pick up but compelling enough to hold your attention until the end. Now, this one is pure compulsion, a spinning clicker game with well-tuned feedback loops. The core idea isn't necessarily unique, but the polish makes it hard to put down. It's a reminder that a familiar mechanic, when refined, can be just as engaging as something entirely new. Now, this year had plenty of program your actions type of game, mine included, but most leaned heavily into puzzles. This submission turned it into an action platformer with tight controls and satisfying sound design. Same core idea, completely different feel, and that's what made it stand out for me. A clean and complete Ouroboros puzzle game. Every level feels distinct with solutions that never feel repetitive. I could easily see this on mobile next to Cut the Rope, not because it's casual, but because the design is solid enough to support that kind of replayability. A Monopoly-inspired loop game. The format is instantly familiar, but reworked in a way that makes perfect sense for the theme. It's a reminder you don't have to start from scratch. Sometimes the best approach is reframing something players already know. Now, this one was my personal favorite. I assumed a music-based game would be too complex for a jam submission, but Loop Pedal proved me wrong. Fun art, clever sound loops, and underneath it all, a puzzle game that surprised me more than once. It's rare for a game to overturn your expectations twice, and this one did that. Looking back, the games that stayed with me were simple to start, quick to engage, and grew into something richer, with visuals that felt intentional and consistent. If you like to understand why these games work so well, I've made a video breaking down the 5 biggest lessons I've learned by playing these games. You can watch that here.